He's the co-founder and CEO of Dragon Search, where he leads social media strategy for Steuben, the Grammy Foundation, Raritan, and more. So knows a lot about SEO, knows a lot about a lot of things, which is why I wanted to tell you about the multi-passionate thing. Everybody, this is Rick Dragon.
Thank you. Thank you, man. Yeah. You know, in public speaking, you get nervous a lot of times, and there's nothing more fun, though, than to be able to look out in a room full of people where a good chunk of you are already good friends. It feels so good, and new friends too, so hello. For a brief while in my life, I lived upstate New York in a little tiny town, and you get lonely, you get to know people, and I got to know the local greengrocer, this guy named Jimmy DeBella. And Jimmy says, look, come on over, I'll teach you how to play backgammon. And if you know about backgammon, you know that it's a toss of the dice, and you work your way around a grid. And every time I played backgammon with Jimmy DeBella, no matter how much I practiced and learned, he beat me. It was really good. I was like, come on, this is a game of chance. How could you be so good? But it was constantly, with every single roll of the dice, doing the right thing with the roll of the dice. So yes, there's chance, but how do you maximize every single move that you make? And that's what Jimmy was able to accomplish in backgammon, and every so often I got a game in on him. Not quite enough. Oops. Some of you might be familiar with this beautiful line from Steve Farber that he shared with us at SOBCon last year in Chicago. Do what you love in service to the people who love what you do. It's so beautiful. It's so eloquent. Do what you love. If you don't do what you love, you're not giving it that extra energy. You don't give it that extra energy. You don't spend the extra time deep diving. You're not going to be quite as good at it. You're not going to do it with quite as much energy. It's not going to provide quite as much value to whomever you're doing it for. It's fairly obvious. Do what you love. And by the way, I'm a painter. I'm an artist, and sometimes I do things that are not about painting, but we find what we love within each of our endeavors. The people at the table, we were talking about the notion that there can still be things about sharing knowledge, about learning things, about connecting people through social media. All of these things that we do in marketing is also very connected with being a writer and an artist. And so what I mean is sometimes, no, I can't be a painter all the time, but I can bring what I love to the work that I do. In service to the people. We don't like the word service, many of us. The word service comes from slavery. A lot of us rebel at it, right? We fight the rich people, and we don't want to be servants. And yet service is very fundamental to what we do. You can't be in business by yourself as a single entity. Business is a social activity. Its very nature is social. Its very nature is of service. So yes, it is in service to people. And finally, to people who love what you do. You ever had a nightmare client? They don't love what you do. They're fighting you. It's whatever, right? You really want people who appreciate what you do. Each of these elements is very critical, and each of these elements, if done, adds value to the mix. And that's where the backgammon comes into play. We have two types of people we deal with. We have spenders, people who actually give us their money, customers. And we have people who are senders. Senders are all of those people. They're in your social network. They may share nice things about you. In some form or another, they help bring customers to you. Now, where these two cross over, that's the ideal customer. Look, it's not that the people who just spend money with you aren't great customers. We love those people. And those people who send business to us, we love them. But it's in that confluence of the two that we get the most value. Those are our ideal customers. And if you have to make choices about where you're going to put energy, putting that little bit of extra energy into ideal customers is where you're going to create the most value. So the next mastermind that we're going to be working on is a matrix. We start off with this idea of the ideal customer. Who is your ideal customer? Of course, we have what we do, our first offer. Now, in the world of working with our ideal customer and our offering, it's a very low product investment. It's what we already do. It's what our service, it's our product. It's a low marketing investment. We already have these people. They are our customers. We already have relationships. So it's the world of low product investment, low marketing investment. It's extremely low risk. Extremely low risk. But it's slow death. It is slow death. You know, we think about big business as so fundamentally different than very small business. The Main Street entrepreneur is not the same thing as Nike, and yet in many ways, the small business is a model of the larger business. I was talking to a CPA last week, and the CPA had come into our town, and he goes, yeah, I bought a couple of businesses, I was growing my practice and moving along, and little by little, my customers went away. They died. Literally, people die over time. You start to lose customers. Or people moved away, or they retired, they moved to Florida or something. You will naturally lose customers, right? So it is slow death. So the things that he had to do, he had to build his business, he had to start getting new customers, but he also had to develop new services to find those people. So then we go into our second generation of customers. Who is the next customer? We already have customers. Who's going to be the next? Point the right way. Oh, there we go. So one idea with your next customer, who your next customer is you have a social network, if you will, of your existing customers. We can reach out and develop new customers, totally different customer bases. And the network will look something like that. You will be the central node for those customers. Another approach is to find friends of your customers, people who are connected also. So if you have two choices, this is the backgammon thing. I got a 6 and a 5. What do I do with it? I'm going to do a certain thing that will provide a higher likelihood of more success. Getting friends of your existing customers, people who are somehow related to your existing customers, will increase the likelihood that they will become ideal customers, that they will send more connections to you. Your marketing investment is lower. Everything about it is lower. Your intimacy with these people is greater. It will increase the odds that you will have more success. You have economies of marketing. If I have an interconnected social network that I'm marketing with, as opposed to 5 to 10 succinct, separate customer groups, if I have more diversity, it's going to cost more to market to those people. If they're interconnected, my marketing costs go down. That, again, increases the likelihood of more success. So, in the world of dealing with our second-generation customers, we're talking friends of our existing customers. We have lower marketing costs. And we have low to medium product investment. Now, if I do branch out with my existing service and product to friends of my existing customers, I do probably have to give a little bit of investment into what I'm offering. It does have to change a little bit to be customized for those people. And I am going to have to put a little bit, medium to high marketing to reach these people. So there we're tailoring the offer. We're taking our existing service and modifying it for that new customer branch. It is medium risk. Not totally without risk, medium risk. So the second thing we do, up there we've got new customers. Down here we're going to spread what we do. We're going to change our offering. If we're service-based, we're going to create more services to provide. If we're product-based, we're going to develop new products for those people. But it's a new version of the first offer. We're not talking about creating a whole new product, a whole new service to bring to our ideal customers, right? To those ideal customers, our existing customers, but a new version of it. High product investment. I'm creating a new product. I had my iTouch, and now I'm creating an iPhone. That's a lot of product investment. Low to medium marketing investment. I already have those existing customers, so I don't have a lot of marketing to do to them. Again, that's filling next logical need of my existing customers. And that also is medium risk. So then finally, oh, excuse me, I want to take a second here. You guys know this, Marceau, this beautiful skit he did. He's a waiter, and he brings the plate out to a customer, and the customer is like, no, this is awful. So he goes back in the kitchen, and he stands there for a little bit, and then he comes back out and hands the food, and the customer is happy at that point. It's a beautiful skit. And I've been thinking a lot about what makes for miserable, horrible, lousy customer service. Aren't we all sort of connoisseurs of lousy customer service? You're on the phone with the internet people or the telephone people, and you're just like, wow, what horrible customer service, or what great, we tweet about it. And I've stopped and I thought, why is that lousy customer service? And I've had some great conversations, and every time I've been able to say that it's lousy customer service, and I think Liz pointed it out, they care more about their own problems than yours. It's very simple. It is very simple. They are caring more about themselves than you at that moment. That's bad customer service. Superb customer service, on the adverse, is when you care more about somebody else's problems. When somebody cares so much about making you happy in a restaurant or on the telephone, Zappos, they're caring more about you at that moment. It is great customer service. It is that simple. And when you care more, I know that photograph, I admit it. I put it up there to pull your heartstrings. When you care more, when you empathize, you're intimate with your customers. It comes back to these very fundamental things. It is about intimacy. Humans need for intimacy. And when you're intimate with your customers, isn't it a lot easier to anticipate what their next need is? And that's what we're talking about, is that beautiful, wonderful customer intimacy where you're able to anticipate their logical next need. So that's what we're talking about in the lower left quadrant. Now, in the final quadrant, we're talking about that second generation of customers. We're going after new customers, and we're developing new products, right? So that's got a high product investment. That's got a high marketing, because that's both. That is very high risk.
Welcome to GoToMeeting.
Because you're trying to
Meetings
go
made
at
easy.
two different tangents at
You
the
are
same
the
time.
first caller and will be
that
placed on
will
hold
create
until the
sudden
next
death.
caller arrives.
That is not sustainable. That'll wipe you out faster than anything. Now, here's the incredible, beautiful challenge. The highest value is actually in a mix of these two quadrants. The beautiful challenge is finding a balance so that you're not over-investing in product development and customer acquisition at the same time, that high-risk element, but you're in this zone working to provide that logical next step for existing and new clients and finding the friends of your existing customers. That's where you're going to win both at backgammon and business. That's where you're going to have success. So the right customer base, building with the right customer base. Building with the right customer base, not the wrong customer base. Think that through. That's very important. Working with them and through them, providing their logical next step, fulfilling their needs, being intimate with those customers. And that will make the competition irrelevant. Thank you.
The organizer has ended the session.
Absolutely amazing.